Hey, everybody, welcome to the weekly Auto Mastery University training from manager to leader. We've been talking about the mirror and the calendar in three different email posts that we sent out to you. And by the way, these sessions are on my platform, Auto Mastery University. And we've been talking about how do you and I become better? How do we get out of the people pile? I believe in the word that I really want to use today, it's just the word of the week is execution. In the world that you and I live in, where there's more and more AI every single second of every single hour of every single day. It's growing. People are learning it. You and I have to be able to execute with that. Whatever information we gather, we have to be able to execute. That's going to be the difference between those people who have jobs in the next 5 years and those people who have been replaced in their jobs. It's execution. What gets you to stand out with execution? And I believe as a manager, your number one thing that you have to execute on is developing people. Now, you and I get the 5 levels of leadership. Number one, position. That means you don't have any leadership skills. Number two, permission. That means you build good relationships. Number three, production. You're a rock and roller. You get it. You create income. A lot of times you sit at the desk, but you create income on the desk. Number four, though, is people development, where you're developing people who develop people. That's where you're going to execute and get out of the pile. And we've been talking about that with this series, The Mirror and the Calendar. So let's rock and roll. And today I want to talk about one of my favorite topics in relation to this. Now, I said it earlier, I want to say it again. I have a platform. My platform is called Auto Mastery University. And that platform has over, oh my gosh, I guess how many? Oh, 100, 200 videos from sales training to leadership to disc. But there's one series in there that I sell separately. It's called Leadership in the Dealership. And we talk a lot about, there's actually 47 videos that talk about how to be a great coach in a dealership. 47. And I've modeled some of the best coaches in the world, not athletic coaches. I'm talking activators. What's an activator? Activators are people like myself, frankly, that get people to talk, get them to open up, and get them to solutionize themselves. Our job is to get them to come up with the answer, not to tell them. The best way to understand that is, have you ever done a training and 5 days later they're not doing anything you told them? It's because they didn't hear you. Unless you're asking and getting them to activate that part of the brain that owns it, they're never going to get results. So we're going to talk about this today in our lesson. And again, if you want more information on the Leadership in the Dealership platform, my name is Bart. I'm your friend, and you can email me here. If you're already a member, if you're already a client of mine, you already have this platform. Clients get this platform for free. Most people charge $5.99 a dealership. I give it for free as long as you're a part of my team. And again, all these weekly sessions that you're getting for free is part of that platform as well, amongst other things. So here we go. AOOA, 4 letters that run every conversation that I have. Seriously, whether it's home, church, business, wherever, our ministry, AOOA. And here's the deal. You have to ask better questions than they're asking themselves. But you don't have to be smarter than them. You have to be more curious than them. The person doing the talking, get this, is the person doing the learning. Most managers want to do all the talking. Hey, here's what you need to do. You need to do this. Hey, I'm going to call BS on that. They are not hearing you. It's bouncing off like a force field. Shut up. Here, I want you to ask and listen, like you've never asked and listened before. Stop walking in with agenda, and I want you to walk out with a strategy that they put into place. Let's talk about it. So here's my questions for the week. Obviously, you can't answer me right here, but I want you to be real. We talked about this last couple of weeks. Did you actually run a one-on-one where you sat down with somebody in an activation session for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, started on time, ended on time, and you established a criteria for that meeting? Did they talk more than you did, or did you all the talking? And what do they commit to? So as you're sitting here watching this in your office, nobody's around, say it out loud. Did you run one? Yes or no? Out loud. Did they talk more than you did? Think about it. Yes or no? And what did they commit to? Just say it out loud. Cool. All right. And I don't judge because I don't know the answer. I'm curious, right? Number two, did you watch a whole deal? Did you watch it and observe it? Did you keep your mouth shut? Did you ask questions before you told them? Same rule, no defending. Now, how many of the commitments that you made actually got done? As you see on the screen, if the answer is not many, that's not a people problem. It's a structure problem. It's frankly a you problem. Your conversation had no shape, so it had no traction. And that's what we fixed today. Look, I believe that you know how to make money. But what I don't believe is a lot of people, if you're watching this, I believe you don't know how to help people develop money, develop themselves. And that's not just make more money, I mean, develop. And we'll talk about that as we go along. Why good questions, why good advice doesn't always stick. That's what I was trying to say. See, telling is fast. I'm good at telling. I got a big mouth, but it's also useless. When you tell them, you solve it in 4 seconds. Hey, do this. They nod, nothing changes. And the problem now belongs to you. It's not fixed. When you ask, it takes longer. Hey, tell me what you were thinking when you did that. Walk me through that process. Give me more information. Tell me a little bit more. And when you ask those questions, what's going on? They're thinking. See, do you understand the difference between you going in with an agenda and then you not going in with the agenda? Now, don't misunderstand. Sometimes when you coach them, you're going to have a topic. We'll call that agenda. Sometimes you have the topic of the week. Sometimes that's not the topic they need to work on. And we'll talk about that as we go along. The person doing the talking is the person doing the learning. We said that before. See, you already know the answer if you're in judgment. That was never the problem. The problem is that you don't know how they think, and they don't know how to activate what you're trying to tell them. So when you ask them, it forces them to think. I worked for a guy years ago by the name of Eustace Wolfington, absolute genius, Hall of Fame car guy. And what he would say is think. That's the key for you and I. Think. And how do we think? By asking questions. All right, here's a strategy. You may have heard it before, but I don't know about you, but I need to hear things over and over again. We call it AOOA. A stands for agenda. Now, let me go back. It's the topic that you're going to work on. So let's say you're thinking of, I'm going to take Leroy and I'm going to work with Leroy for the next 4 weeks. You're going to get with Leroy for 20 minutes a session, start on time and end on time. And your agenda that you want to take into the game is phones. Okay, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what you feel that he needs to work on. On the other hand, Leroy might have something else he wants to work on. And that could be as powerful too. Instead of you going in and say, we're going to work on this, maybe the better question is, what do you want to focus on today? Their topic, not yours. Why? Because if they pick it, they own it. And if you pick it, you own it. They're not bought in, right? I think that's one of the best questions when you think about topic/agenda. What do you want to focus on today? The next one is obstacle. When you ask them, what do you want to focus on today? Now you got to ask the why question. Why do you think you're struggling with that? Or why do you want to focus on that? Great question, right? Let them talk. Let them name it out loud before you name anything. Now, again, they own it. So, for example, somebody comes up to me and he says, what do you want to focus on today? My life coach. Well, I want to write a keynote. Great. Why? Because I want my keynote to be one that I could take to 20 different audiences and it still has the same impact. Okay. What's your obstacle with that? Man, I'm just having trouble getting creative with it. Why do you think that is? I just think I don't know the structure to a keynote. Okay. So now I got it and I own it. That's what I'm going to talk to my coach about. Frankly, that is what I'm talking to my coach about, actually. So I gave you an insight to that. Next, options. What do you think your options are? So my coach might ask me, tell me what your keynote should look like. And then I talk a little bit about it. And now he says, now he might give some options, he or she. My ideas first, the coachee, the person you're coaching, their ideas first. And if they're stuck, offer 2 or 3 and let them choose one. What do you think of this? What do you think of this? You guys are getting this, right? And then action plan after you're like 18 minutes in, before next time, here's what I want you to do. Now I want to change that a little bit. I'm going to change that. I wrote that, but I want to change it. I want to change it to this. Before next time, here's what I want to ask you. What do you want to work on? Based on what we've told you, how do you want to be held accountable? And then when they say it like that, I just like that better. It feels better. When they say it like that, and then they think, oh, okay, okay, I want to work on this. Now they own it, right? Now, will you have to say, hey, I want you to do this and this for next time? Probably. Ask them for their approval. Is it okay if I hold you accountable for that? Yeah. But sometimes it's really good to ask them, what do you want to work on? What do you want to be held accountable for? All these can require questions. 4 letters, 20 minutes. It doesn't matter if they're 20 years in or 11 years in. It doesn't matter. All right. Agenda. What do you want to work on today? And I'm going to go through this as I've got about 2 more minutes. I want to honor your time. You walked in with an agenda, put it down. Whatever they name is what you're going to walk through. If they don't know, maybe ask this question. What part of last month frustrated you the most? Perfect. Okay. Obstacle. What do you think you're struggling with? And why do you think you're struggling with that? Right? Why do you think you're struggling with that? What and why? Well, because I'm just not very focused. Talk to me about that. Well, I look at my phone all day. Talk to me about that. How's that working for you? It's not. What do you think what an option would that would be? You can transfer right into option by again asking them questions. Stop talking. Count to it says 5 in your head, man. I think it's 55 in your head. Just shut up and let them talk. And the first answer they give you is probably going to be an excuse. The second one's probably going to be the truth. Just wait for it and let them come up with it. You can't coach anybody on anything they've not admitted. You get that. That's why we train people and they don't get it because they're not sure if they have a problem with that. That's why taking veterans into a Green P class doesn't work because in their brain, they ain't feeling that they've got a problem with that. That's why it's really important to sit down with those people one-on-one and say, I know there's something you want to work on. What do you want to work on? You're a 12 car a month salesperson. You should be 25. What do you think you need to work on? When they say nothing, you better keep digging. All right. Next one, options. Ask them first. So what do you think your options are? Most people have an answer. They've never been given room to say the answer. When they say that, well, I think I should be a little bit more patient. I think I should be a little bit more consistent. I think I should put it on my calendar. And now they've got some answers. Maybe they say, I don't know. If they say they don't know, then say, hey, if you did know, what would you think your options are? And then you might say, let me give you 2 or 3 options and give it to them and then ask them, what's that mean to you? And then have them repeat it. We'll talk more about this going forward. And then last one, action plan. Before our next time, what would you like to work on? Why? If they can't give you something, say, okay, I want you to do this, this, and this. What's your thoughts of that? Now you've got a plan. Now you've got them coming up with the answer. Now, and again, I think the greatest question, as you see on the screen, is can I hold you accountable for that? See, that's your job as an activator, to hold them accountable. That activator is accountability partner, folks. That's what you are. And then when it's all done, matter of fact, I got to tell you, I like to start my sessions this way sometimes in my second or third session. What did you do right this week? What did you learn and what must you change? That helps you get a flow for how your AOA session is going to be. Even though you know your agenda, even though you probably planned out some direction, that opens up to see where are they really. Okay? Make sure that you get permission from them to coach them, because if you're just again directing, then they're going to run. So how do you get permission? With questions. Okay. All right, here's our game plan for next week. Pick one salesperson, run all 4 letters in order. Don't jump ahead to your own advice. End with both permission questions out loud. Then write it down. Write down their agenda, their obstacle, their action plan, or record it. In their words, not your summary of it. Bring that page to next week's meeting. If I were you, I would get a tool on my phone that is an AI tool that records and then give them a copy of it and then go over it next week as a summary. All right. Again, one more time. If you want to see this whole thing, you just go back to me. And if you want to, you can watch this over and over. But I also want to encourage you to reach out to me for the Leadership in the Dealership Mentorship Program. That's 47 videos. And all you have to do is email me. We'll set up an appointment. And then you and I can talk about how that might work for you. Take care, everybody. God bless. Thank you so much for your time. I'm proud of you, as I always am, man. I just am. For you to be here is a big, 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 big deal. So God bless. We'll talk to you next time on Auto Master University, Manager into Leader.